Yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here. And I wanted to have the video about this because it is something that is being brought up in the Nintendo community because of all the shit that happened. And I am talking about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I want to talk about the hypocrite issue, and I also want to talk about why I didn't buy the game. I think the quickest thing is to talk about why I didn't buy the game. A lot of people saw in the Juices Lose, but for those who don't follow me on that podcast, link in the description. For me, I had no reason to rebuy the game when I already owned the game. I owned the DLC, and battle mode was never like a defining trait for me personally. I never. Then again, I was never into Mario Kart enough to justify buying it twice in the first place. There are very few games you could get me to buy again. And I think I even said, I think the only games on the Wii U, if they port it to the Switch, that I would buy is probably going to either be Smash or Pokken Tournament. And Pokken Tournament only if the DLC is included that we never got here in the States. Otherwise, that shit's not really on my radar. The point is, Mario Kart wasn't that game for me. On top of the fact, and then now we can really jump into it. Because, like, that's really what my opinion on it was. It was like, I felt like it was obviously a cash grab and it was a stopgap. It's like, when's the next major release coming out? Oh, that's coming out in June. So if we exclude Mario Kart 8 because that's a fucking port, and technically Zelda is too, but Zelda at least came out at the same time. Like the new game, it was new on the Wii U and the Switch at the same time, whereas Mario, not so much. If you took out Mario Kart, that means April and May had really no major Nintendo games in it. And I feel like that Mario Kart 8 was used as a stopgap. All right, we'll put it at the very end of April so it could kind of bleed into May and kind of be that holding game for a month, which actually is like a month and a half because ARMS didn't come out until the middle of June. And with all that, it was like, oh, well, I see what you're doing there, Nintendo. And I think what people really need to get, the conversation that needs to be had, because, I mean, we're going to talk about the hypocrite situation, you know, those who said they didn't like remasters on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but still bought Mario Kart 8. I also want to understand that as far as business is concerned, for all three of these companies who do it, and all the third-party companies that decide to do it, remasters I don't inherently agree with. I think, and as a base idea, I like them, but the way they are used nowadays seems like a cop-out. It's like, oh, here's an easy way of having a new game on my console in a month where I have nothing coming out because of the people who may have not bought the game the first time. Unfortunately, and the problem I always had with this is that it creates this mindset of why should I wait? Why should I buy this edition when there will be like a deluxe edition of the same game coming out soon? That's the kind of the thought process with Street Fighter. It's like, don't buy the original Street Fighter 4, buy the Super Deluxe version of Street Fighter 4. Or don't buy Street Fighter 5, buy the Complete Edition, which is still the same game. It'll just be the game with all the DLC already into the base game from jump. I have no doubt in my mind that'll eventually come. Like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Don't buy Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Buy Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Complete Edition that comes out like a year after the first game comes out. It's the same shit. They're playing the same game, all right? So as far as business decisions are concerned, they make money. They as it's been already proven with Mario Kart, where Mario Kart's already become the fastest selling Mario Kart at launch. Which, you know, considering 8 didn't even do that, that's already a trip in itself. But it also shows you how much a console impacts the sales of your game. Because I mean, it wasn't like Mario Kart 8 was Mario Kart 8 sold really well on the Wii U too, but not to this level, to where it was trumping even the Wii starting number. It's nuts. But let's get into the hypocrisy, because the hypocrisy is that Nintendo fans were sitting there shitting on Sony and Microsoft for having these fucking ports of remastered games when their consoles came out, and then Nintendo has already done it. And then some people still make the argument about how Nintendo technically won't have a new game for their new console, like a brand new built from the ground up for Switch game, until June in the form of ARMS, because Zelda is a port. It's just a port it's a same day port, and Mario Kart 8 is just a remaster port. As far as the hypocrisy is concerned, look, if to me, at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you want with your money. But if you are that person who sat there and said, I'm not gonna buy Mario Kart 8 because it's too fucking expensive, I mean, because it's a remaster, and you bought it on launch, and you spent the full $60 on it, then you need to take that L. At the end of the day, it's not like I'm telling you to return the game, but you got to take the L. It's like, yeah, you're a hypocrite. You fucking lied. You said you weren't gonna get it, and you bought it anyway. You're full of shit. It's something that I don't inherently agree with because I feel like it undermines the previous consoles. But at the end of the day, that's like a small thing that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of things, do you want the company you like to make money? Yes. Then shut the fuck up and take the remaster. And as it's been shown, not even just Mario Kart, I think Uncharted did well. I think Tomb Raider did well. Uncharted, Tomb Raider, Last of Us. A lot of these HD remasters, I'm pretty sure Rare Replay probably did well in its own right, make money. They make money and they give money to developers where they don't have to put a lot of effort into porting a game over. All they're doing is porting the game over. They might do some small touches here or there, and it's fucking cool. And I will say my stance has changed on it because I think I used to be way more against remasters than I am now. Just because I think I wasn't looking at the business side of things, because as a consumer, you wouldn't give a fuck about the business side of things. As a consumer, it's like, I just bought this game like 3 years ago and you're re-releasing it with better shit, and now I feel like I got cheated. Even though really what the trade-off is there is that you got to play the game 3 years earlier and they had to wait until now to get this version of the game. Although if you still want to play battle mode, you got to get the game. So it's kind of a catch-22. And I will say Mario Kart 8 is probably on the higher tier of remasters because it is an improvement. Graphically is an improvement. Frame rate wise is an improvement. For modes, they've added new mechanics. They've taken some of the cheap ones out. They've created more balancing tools and make it more family friendly without pissing off a whole bunch of people. Auto steering and auto accelerate are functions that are cool, and because I can turn them off, those are things that are appealing. I don't own the fucking game. I've just seen footage of it. But the hypocrisy is something that people need to start taking L for. Like, because Nintendo fans, or some of us are full of shit. I mean, let's be real about it. Some of us are full of shit, and some of us aren't. There are a decent number of Nintendo fans who run around fucking saying they wouldn't get the game. Honestly, I'm surprised. I mean, I think if you saw my Juice Loose podcast, I called Juice out on it when he was talking about how he wasn't gonna get Mario Kart 8. And I'm like, yes, you are. But the reason why I knew when he was gonna get it is because Juice is a huge Mario Kart 8 fan. He enjoys the shit out of Mario Kart 8. And I think because of the Best Buy Gamers Club thing. But the hypocrisy is still there. You probably, people who said, I'm not going to buy the game, really what they need to just start saying is like, look. Because, I mean, obviously people change their minds and it depends on how much you want to chastise people for it. It's like, but I think really what it is that people just need to stop running their mouths so early before something happens. Because they change their minds, they look like hypocrites, and then they don't want to admit that they're being hypocrites, so they'll just backpedal and give you a whole bunch of bullshit-ass excuses. And that's what it is. It's like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, for all intents and purposes, is a remaster port. It's on the same vein as something like the Last of Us port or the Tomb Raider port, except I would argue has more mechanical changes to it. Still probably shouldn't be $60. I mean, let's be real here. It shouldn't. It probably should be like 40. 40, 50's pushing it. 40's probably what I think it should have been. Because 40 would have justified it's the remaster, all the stuff you did to change it, the improvements you made, and some of the new features that version has, but it still wouldn't be. Because I think that's the problem, is that there was a lot of people who said the game really didn't need to be $60. If it's gonna be a remaster, that's whatever. But it's a remaster that's $60, and you're like, it's kind of much. And that's why there's I mean, it's obvious it's selling, but I think it's only selling. And granted, this argument kind of goes back and forth whether people believe this or not. I personally believe there's more non-Switch owners who own the Switch currently than just Nintendo fans. Hence why I think the game is selling as much as it is. Unless you're like a YouTuber or a content creator, or you really just wanted that battle mode, you probably had no real reason to get this version. People are kind of like going back and forth on that argument. I don't really think you need it. Especially if you're not someone who's like obsessed with Mario Kart. But it's that same thing. I could make the same argument for Call of Duty and the DLC for that and fighting games. People get that shit not even because they like the game that much. They get the remastered versions of those games because their friends are all playing it. And who the fuck wants to be left out when all your friends are playing it? And that's what it boils down to. Kind of fucking sucks, but that's what happens. That's how our culture is with the sheep mentality and shit. I think at the end of the day, if you're gonna be a hypocrite, that's fine. Just own up to the hypocrisy. Don't make excuses. Don't backpedal, because people will respect you more and just be like, look, I get it. It's a new game. You want to play because your friends are online. The online is currently free, so you can get the most mileage out of it as you can. And there is improvements to the game that you want to try out, whether it's the mechanical improvements, even some of the more subtle things. Like if anyone goes sees Abdallah Smash's video where he mentions how Mario Kart 8, you know how they have the, you know, when you pull up the stats for each of the cards combinations, you see the acceleration and all that other stuff. The acceleration 8 wouldn't do the part way sections, like how you could, the acceleration was split up into like bars. It was like you had the full bars, but you could also get half bars and quarter bars. In the original Mario Kart 8, it was literally like if you were at 3.5, it only counted as 3, or if you were at 4.25, it only counted as 4. Whereas they fixed that Mario Kart 8. It has subtle changes to it. That's fine. Just people need to stop being so insecure about themselves and not being afraid to take L's. Because I think people respect you more when you just sit there and say, yeah, I'm a hypocrite. I said I wasn't going to do something and I did it anyway. Just fine. Just own up to it. Because I think people end up incriminating themselves worse by trying to save face. You wanted to play Mario Kart 8 because your friends were playing it. That's all you got to say. It's like I said, like before, I'm pretty sure I said I was against all remasters that were like that close apart. Because my biggest thing was just the length between remasters in their games. Like how Tomb Raiders was literally, you had the PlayStation 3 version, PlayStation 4 version came out like within a year of each other. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the complete edition, it was the same shit. I hated stuff like that. And I didn't have anything against remasters as a whole. It was just that shit. Mario Kart 8 even doesn't fit the criteria of what I wouldn't buy. I think the only thing that would come close is probably either Smash or Xenoblade. Xenoblade is not exactly a year, but it's still pretty close. Smash, I think if you count when the DLC ended, maybe. But and as I said, it all kind of depends on whether the remaster adds in enough stuff to justify the purchase. I just think, for me, I didn't really feel the need to get it. I'm still playing Persona 5, and then fucking, I'm probably going to end up getting Disgaea 5 on the Switch later on this month anyway. On top of Fire Emblem, I don't really fucking need to play Mario Kart 8 right now. It's like I'm not fiending for a game. I have games to play, and I'm still debating whether I'm going to get Nier on the PC or the PS4. I'm thinking I might get it on the PS4. Kind of just depends. Depends on how long it takes me to beat Persona 5, which I have beaten the third dungeon. Yeah, I've beaten the third dungeon. I'm already past the dreaded 7-7 day, so. But that's a random Persona 5 update. But yeah, that's just my thoughts and opinions on the subject. Please leave yours in the comment section below. If you picked up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, how you're enjoying it. If you didn't, or you like me, you just didn't feel the need to, that you had other things to play, or what. It's cool. Let me know in the comment section below. Was it trees? Alright. This has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game. Play to win. And I will catch you guys later. Peace!